Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a small discussion video on some things that I think have to change in Genesis, or what Konami should change about Genesis. Because let's be real, Genesis is a super cool format. I really love to play it. It has super nice gameplay. It's, I think, better than the normal TCG right now, because let's be real, the normal TCG right now is, yeah, it doesn't make a lot of fun right now. As Joshua Schmidt said in his video, there are a lot of floodgates and have ever been, right? This is not a problem we have. We have just right now. We always had in normal TCG the problem with just flipping dimensional barrier, going first, or other floodgates that lock you out of the game. So yeah, I think some things like that we don't have in the Genesis format, which just infinitely makes that better and makes Genesis format a lot more fun to play. But Konami still left some things in the game which, yeah, let's say, doesn't make it so fun to play the format, and this is what I want to discuss in this video. And I also like to hear your opinion about that. Please write in the comments. And I have some points that I really think should be changed by Konami and would make playing Genesis overall better. And yeah, let's go straight into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the dimension family, right? We're talking about dimension shifter, dimensional barrier, dimensional fissure, and stuff like macrocosmos, right? Or even a different dimension ground. We also have that on the points list. The first thing I want to give you is the points on those cards. We have, really importantly, dimensional barrier at 100 points. Konami did everything right in their decision by giving Dimensional Barrier 100 points. I think this is the only points that Dimensional Barrier should have in the 100 points format. But on the other cards, Konami, I think, did not do that great of a job, because we have Dimensional Fissure at 0 points. We have Macrocosmos at 0 points. We have different dimension grounds only at 10 points, and we have Dimension Shifter only at 10 points. When the format started, Dimensional Shifter was only at 5 points. They even upped the points on it already because they saw it's a problem. But I don't know why it's 10 points. Like, 10 points is way too less, because if you have a deck that can play it, they can easily fit in 3 of the Dimensional Shifter in there, and then we still have those non-games that are created. If you play some decks, they just cannot win against Dimensional Shifter. You will still have the problem. Yeah, Genesis format is way slower than the normal TCG. So if maybe their thinking when they created the points list was that Dimension Shifter and a different dimension ground can only get 10 points, because yeah, they stop after 1 turn or after 2 turns, like Dimension Shifter. But it's not that true, right? It's not that slow, because the format still can end in like 2 turns. Because if I play against, let's say I play against Exorcister, right? They go first, they drop Dimension Shifter, make their whole board. I cannot do anything, because my deck loses against Dimension Shifter. I lose against the board and against Dimension Shifter. Or even if I get my deck gets slightly worse by Dimension Shifter, I still have to play against the board and the floodgate effect of Shifter. So the game immediately ends there. Or even if I go first and lose against Dimension Shifter, the most of the decks can just OTK you, right? So it's the same as the normal TCG, but the difference here is that people play Dimension Shifter at 3. So my recommendation is, if you play Dimension Shifter, you shouldn't be able to play any other non-engine. And also, if your deck has points, you shouldn't be able to play it. So I think at least, yeah, I don't know, 25 or 30 points on Dimension Shifter, so or 33, something like that. But if this was a wish list for me, I would just say go for 100 points. Nobody needs this card. It always creates non-games. So my recommendation would be go higher, a lot higher. But I think, yeah, it's not that realistic that this card will get from 10 to 100 points. So I hope at least in the next list it will move up to 20, 25, 30 points, stuff like that. So that it's not that easily playable along other non-engine and not easily play in every deck that can play it, right? And for the different dimension ground, I think it's not that worse, not that bad, because this only lasts for one turn. It's also only for monsters, which also matters. And also thrust costs points. This is normally just a thrust target, so I think it's fine at 10 points. You can move it up a bit more, like 20, but I think this doesn't make the huge problems. I think it's fine. It would be okay if they do not move it at all, right? So I'm fine with it only costing 10 points. Then about Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos, I think those cards are not fine at 0 points, not at all, because 0 points cards and 10 points cards already make a huge difference, because a 0 point card means that you can play it at free at every in every deck that wants to play it. And Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos also are not just staying there for one turn, they stay there forever. So let's imagine you play a watered down version of Draco Tail or Branded or whatever needs to graveyard, like a Dante deck, Burning Abyss. Even if you go second and people you make a normal board that you want to interact with and people just flip you, just activate the Dimensional Fissure, usually you just lose. So I think those cards should be way higher on the points list. Like the same as Dimension Shifter. You just go for at least 33 points for those cards. I just think they have to be way up higher. If you want to play them, you shouldn't be able to play other non-engine. And yeah, 0 points is not acceptable. So I hope they if they don't want to do as much, if they say, okay, we need those cards in the game to check like heavy graveyard decks that do heavy combos or stuff like that, they want to have them in the game, then at least give them some points, give them like 10 points. Then this would also already help. So people cannot just play them without mind to just put it in because I have like the space, not just the points left. So they have to be addressed somehow. It would be okay if they get 10 points, because yeah, it's true, if you play into a board, they do not help that much because they can easily get out. But if you go first, you just activate one of those, against some decks you just instantly win. So I don't think those cards are healthy, and I don't think those cards promote any kind of fun, at least for one of the players that's playing against it. So I would move them up, right? A lot of floodgates are hit on the points list, so they have to get moved up on the points list. I really recommend that for the fun of the game, right? It would just make the game better. The next thing I want to talk about is towers, and some towers in general. We have a lot of floodgates hit, right? I talked about the dimensional family. This is some of the few floodgates that are not hit. Towers in some way are also creating non-games and are a bit working a bit like floodgates, because if you cannot out a tower monster, you're likely gonna lose that, and it's gonna feel really bad if you're not able to out it, because you know right here he goes for the tower, he slaps it on the board, I cannot win at all, right? So it's relating the same way. If your opponent makes an unaudible tower or gives you not the opponent the ability to play by a floodgate, it feels the same way, I think. Towers are less worse than floodgates because you can draw the outs in multiple turns, but it's still a problem. A lot of towers are actually hit in this game, in the Genesys format. For example, Dragoon has 100 points, also number 59, the Crooked Cook has points, Psychic End Punisher has 20 points, Masterpiece has 33 points, Chaos Angel has 20. Those cards are all hit. But one specific card and is not hit, which is like a mix of a tower and a card that locks the opponent out of the game. It's hit, but it's not hit enough. It's number 86 Heroic Champion Rongomniat. This card only costs 31 points, right? 31 points. This is less than Branded Fusion. Yeah, Branded Fusion is also a probably problematic card in itself, but you cannot tell me that Red Eyes Dragoon has 100 points and a card like Rongomniat, which if you don't know what this card does, right? If you can build him with 4 materials, 4 warrior, level 4 warrior monsters. Your opponent can normal or special summon monsters. Just like the single effect. And the other effect, if it has 3 plus materials, unaffected by other card effects. And if it has 5 plus materials, once per turn you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. This is not a quick effect, but this card is like ridiculous. I don't know who ever made this card. It's the dumbest thing I have ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it says it's unaffected by other card effects, straight up, right? And your opponent cannot normal or special summon monsters. So kaijus are not even working against that. The only thing that effectively can out that is XYZ Encore. That's the only card in the game, and I think Herald of the Abyss, right? Those cards can out this, but this is like one of the worst cards to face. And we have a deck, Dodo that can easily build this card, and they can even play like non-engine on top, because Dodo is completely free. They only have one card which they can play as a one-off at 33 points, right? So I have some suggestions here. Go for 100 points from Gomniat. Why does this card only have 31 points? We don't need that card. There is no benefit in this card having less than 100 points. Give it 100 points. And then also give Dodo some more points, like, I don't know, on Dodo Warrior, because this card is crazy, right? Give it at least 10 or 15 points. So they cannot do whatever they want, right? Because this deck, even without Rongomniat, is like super strong combo deck and can do ridiculous things where they can easily cheat out 4 monsters, right, to just go for Rungomniat. Their only problem in this format is they don't have enough monster zones to be able to special summon stuff. So if this is the only problem of your deck, then yeah, it's kind of unfair if you go against that with a nerfed deck that's from 2015 or something like that, right? Because a lot of decks are nerfed that are really old and are not that strong. So I don't know why Ron Gomyat is only at 31 points. I'm getting really angry when I just think about that. Somebody did a huge mistake there on the points list. This card needs to be 100 points, and then also give Dodo some points on the warrior, and then we fix this problem. That's fine. But that's not the only problematic Flatgate we have as XYZ. We also have Utopic Draco Future. This one, it says cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and you can detach one material from this card, negate the activation of a monster effect, right? And then you can gain control of that monster, which is, it's just a crazy effect. You can easily build that by overlaying just 2 XYZs. This card is at 20 points. I think it's fine that this card remains playable. It doesn't have to get pushed to 100 points, but just make let's do a comparison. Dragoon is at 100 points, and Dragoon is, yeah, it's pretty strong, but it's not 5 times stronger than Utopic F0, right? I would argue that F0 is even way more easy to build than Dragoon, because we don't have Witchy Anaconda in this format. So I think this card should get up like, I don't know, 20 points more. So it's at 40 points, so it's still playable, right? But it's not that easy, and you have to get rid of some non-engine to play it. So I think it's too cheap to have that only 20 points. That's my suggestion. I could also be wrong there, but this one feels really strong that it only has 20 points. So maybe go up 10 points, go up 20 points. So, but yeah, I don't think this should be at 20 points. And now I'm gonna talk about some more Floodgate monsters, right? Towers monsters that we have. We have Lunar Light Liger Dancer. Lunar Light is not hit in any form. I think Lunar Light Liger Dancer is one of the most oppressive cards, unaffected by card effects, and also can pop your whole board. Yeah, they cannot play how's it called? Their the pendulum monster, Lunalight Tiger. Yeah, they cannot play their Tiger, so the deck is somehow hit and cannot easily produce the Liger Dancer, but I think they shouldn't be able to play like non-engine on top of that. I think Lunalight Liger Dancer should at least have 50 points. Heck, Mirror Jade has 33 points, so this card at least should have 55 points or 50 points or stuff like that. Let's say 55, so that you cannot build 2, or 51 would be all right. So you can only at least build 1, and if the opponent is able to out it with something like a kaiju or anything else, you actually won, right? And if you cannot out it, you lost. It's not really good, but at least don't give them the ability to have 2 of those, right? So I think this should never be 0 points. Give it 51 points. This is my recommendation. This would make the game better. Then let's talk about Super Quantum. They have Super Quantal, Mag King, Great Magnus. This card is also at 0 points, just like the rest of the Super Quantum engine, I think, also has like 0 points. So they can build this tower that says your opponent cannot add cards from deck to the hand. To the hand. It's unaffected by card effects, except Super Quantum cards. So this is a Colossus, and also is unaffected. They can just build this going first and have hand traps on top of that. So I don't think this card should have 0 points. This same recommendation. I think it should have like we don't have to kill Super Quantum, because Super Quantum is not the craziest deck in the world, right? But give this thing 50 points, so they or I don't know, 30 points. They cannot have infinite hand traps, right? And cannot pass on this one, and also like two, three hand traps. So I think that it's important that this one also gets points. Then we have Expurely Noir. I think Lunalight. I think Purely is already kind of hit. I'm gonna take a look at it. Yeah, they have 15 points on Sleepy. They have 5 on the field spell. On the Pure Lily, they have 10, and also 15 on the Purely. So I think this deck is actually kind of hit good. Maybe you could make the Sleepy Memory a bit more expensive, so they cannot draw infinite cards, but I think Purely is fine as it is, right? I don't think they have to hit it more. And yeah, this floodgate, this tower is also unaffected, but yeah, if you want to do something, you have to detach some cards. So I think it's fine. It's not a floodgate on top, right? So it's fine. Then we have Disaster Dragon Ruler of all Apocalypse. This one also says that it's unaffected by other card effects and gains 4,600 attack and defense if it has all attributes attached to it, and it can clear the whole board. It can wipe the whole board. Usually this thing cannot be built going first. It's like a follow-up play if you break a board, if you overlay 2 of the rank 7 Dragon Ruler monsters. All of the Dragon Rulers, I think, also have like 7 points. They cannot play any non-engine, so I think it's fine that this card exists at 0 points. I don't think Konami has to do as much. And we have Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. This is the last card I wanted to talk about. I think Raid Raptor is completely untouched. They yeah, don't think they have only points on the rank up cards and on Vanishing Lanius, right? So those are the cards that have points. So I think the same thing as before. This one should have 51 points, so they cannot build 2. And if you out the 1, you will be able to do something, right? But yeah, this is only my opinion. I haven't experienced so much Raid Raptor right now, and I cannot tell if like 51 points is way too harsh. But if my opponent does a full combo and has in the end 2 of these cards that I cannot out, it feels like a floodgate, right? So I think something should be addressed there, but I'm not sure about Raid Raptor. I think this is also fine if Konami doesn't address it. One small thing I'm also want to touch. I mentioned V.F.D before, True King of All Calamities. This is like a monster in XYZ level rank 9 that says once per turn you can detach one material from this card and declare one attribute. This turn all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute. Also all monsters in the opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. This one is at 100 points, and rightly so. This one should stay there. It's banned in the TCG because it's way too broken, right? But I have seen some lists where they used their whole 100 points to get into this card, and yeah, it was Generator, because Generator can easily cheat us out, and Generator also has like I think 0 points at all. So I suggest to give Generator, let's say, some points, like some small amount of points, like 1 point on a really important card, maybe the field spell or something like that. Give it 5 points or something like that. So a really small amount of points. Just 1 point on a really important card they have to play is enough, so they won't be able to just go for True King of All Calamities. This is my suggestion. I don't want to hit Generator. I just not want to see True King of All Calamities being played. So it's if you guys know about Generator and how they play, maybe you can tell me what cards should be hit there. Just giving it 1 point so they won't be able to just get out True King of All Calamities and make yugioh not so fun anymore. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about is about some archetypes that just feel a bit too strong. And my suggestion here is to not make them unplayable. I don't want that in Genesys. I don't want to have anything that's not playable. I just want them to not be able to use strong non-engine, because strong archetype plus strong non-engine can feel really unfair. The first thing I think we have to talk about, and that really will be addressed, I think Konami would not do that, is Vanquish Soul. The only thing that has points in, I'm talking about now at the pure Vanquish Soul deck, is Holisu. So yeah, they don't have their Link monster, but they just go for every good Vanquish Soul name at 3, and then the rest of the 70 points that they have is like really strong non-engine. And I don't think that this should be possible in Genesys. I don't think I think you shouldn't be able to play Vanquished Soul and on top of that have Ash Blossoms in your deck and also Shifter and stuff like that. This just creates really unfair games. So I just suggest to just go up with the points for Vanquished Soul, and so they can still be played perfectly fine, but with less strong non-engine. My suggestion right here is to go for Raisin, as they did in the TCG. Just give this guy some more points because he's really important to play. Give him, I don't know, also 10 points like Holisu. So they have to make the decision, do I want to play more Raisin or do I want to play non-engine? So it also makes their deck building a bit better, and give them also like 10 points on Caesar values. So they have to, or let's say 5 points on Caesar values. So because this is a card they really have to play, and they also play it at 3 right now. So maybe they can now decide, do I want to really play 3? Do I need to play 3? Can I get down with the ratios to play more non-engine? So I suggest Caesar values 5 points and also Vanquish Soul Raisin 10 points. So this deck is way more expensive to play, and they cannot play easily like 50 70 points of non-engine, and then it's like the best deck, because if you have Ash Blossom, Shifter, and on top of that a cheap engine which is super strong like Vanquished Soul, and they also rely on their non-engine, right? Because if they have good non-engine with the right attributes, this deck is like super strong. Yeah, this is my suggestion for the Vanquished Soul deck. Another deck that has to be, I think, addressed is the Man with the Mark deck, the Apophis deck. Nothing there costs point, like really nothing. So they can they just want a YCS in the normal TCG. So I think it's really important that that this deck gets points. And yeah, they could, if they want to, just play some impulse or whatever they want, or not just impulse, they could all dominus stuff, which because those cards are really good in this deck. And some dominus, like Dominus Purge, only cost 10, so they can really play super strong non-engine and also have like strong engine on top. And this one is still is, even if they don't draw like the non-engine super strong when they go first, they make super oppressive boards. And so this has to get points on its engine. Points. I suggest the field spell having 33 points. The Treasures of the King needs to have 33 points as every other searcher. And I don't know, maybe the Man with the Mark, give him 10 points or something like that. So they have to decide if they want to play 3 field spells or if they want to have strong non-engine. So this deck has to get some points, or maybe get the Apophis some points. I don't know, but I think it could also be enough to just give the field spell 33 points, because they have to play at least one. And yeah, then they cannot stack that up, or you could also do the same with the Man with the Mark. But yeah, something has to get points there, so this deck is not as oppressive as it is right now. And the last thing I want to talk about in this video is about Artmage. I don't think Artmage needs to be hit that hard, but it's a really good engine, and it doesn't cost any points, right? And if you have a strong board and on top of that also strong non-engine, like they can take 100 points for non-engine, yeah, this isn't really healthy. So give Artmage some points, maybe give some points to Medius the Pure, give him like 10 points or something like that, so they cannot play their non-engine like at 100 points. They have to get down on a non-engine bit and play some worse non-engine. And maybe give Finmel, I think this is a one-off, give it like another 10 points or something like that, or give it 15 points. Just give some cards some points, so they won't be able to play really strong non-engine and aren't that strong overall anymore, and other decks can keep up with that because they produce super strong boards. And when they have strong non-engine on top of that, if they have an Ash Blossom, a lot of decks can't even play against cannot play through an Ash Blossom. So strong board and also Ash Blossom seems kind of unfair in Genesys. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you could get the points. I hope I delivered the points in a good way to you. And please tell me what you think about the things I said in this video. Also, if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. I really want to hear your opinion, because maybe I see the points of like not good. Maybe I have to get another point of view on that. And please, if I have to, just tell me that in the comments, and I will also answer you. I will read every comment, and I'm really glad to hear your opinion. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.